Greetings. For today's topic, we'll be discussing funding Jamaica's national roadworks program and new international airports. And today's subject is to discuss, should Jamaica borrow the funds from China with a grace period to build their infrastructure for an expanded tourism industry that would enable the Jamaican economy to start growing by 10% per annum and doubling to US $30 billion by 2030. I understand that in the past, there may be financial restraints on what successive governments could do in terms of carrying out large projects. However, with the opportunities that now lay before us, particularly in tourism, we need to make the most of the Chinese before they move on. The Chinese does not need to stay in the Caribbean if it's going to cause too much trouble with the USA. The size of most Caribbean countries and the population of the Caribbean are insignificant to China in comparison to what the Chinese are doing in other countries and other continents around the world. Also, the other countries around the world don't need to worry about the USA when they are doing business with China. For example, large countries like India can currently buy oil from Russia irrespective of what the USA thinks. Other countries like Pakistan and many countries in Africa are doing business with Russia and China irrespective of what the USA thinks. However, the small island states in the Caribbean will need to be much more cautious when going against any USA sanctions on countries that the USA have issues with. Most Caribbean countries' economies relies on visitors from the USA or other NATO countries that gives the USA leverage over Caribbean countries, leverage that the USA has used against Jamaica in the 1970s. China knows that the USA is trying to start some kind of a Cold War with them so that they can put on more sanctions on China in an attempt to stop the Chinese economy from overtaking the American economy. Though China may appear to be responding to the USA with harsh words sometimes, I think it's just a bluff. Things are going well for the Chinese now. They don't want anything in the world to change much politically that would slow their growth. An example of how China could pull up and leave Jamaica is what happened when another communist country just pulled up and leave another Caribbean country in the 1960s. Russia was in Cuba in the 1960s, but just pulled up and left when it was causing too much trouble with the USA. In the words of Fidel Castro, Russia did not even tell Cuba that they were leaving. Russia just cleared up their nukes site and left. More on that, Google the Cuban Missile Crisis, and you'll see the information there. China are making friends in the Middle East with Saudi Arabia, Iran, and the rest. Also, with what China is doing in Asia, Africa, and the Asian countries, they don't really need the Caribbean if it's going to be a problem with the USA. Hence, the urgency should be on Jamaica to get our infrastructure sorted while we have the opportunity. Furthermore, 10 years from now, China will be facing a labor shortage and may no longer be able to send its people abroad to work like they used to. The 40-year-long one-child policy that started in 1979 is already having an effect on China's workforce today, but will become more chronic 10 years from now. Wages have also increased in China significantly for several years now and will continue to do so over the foreseeable future. Hence, the Chinese people may not be willing to go and work abroad 10 years from now like they used to do in the past if they can earn more money in their own country. This will have an impact on companies like Czech in Jamaica 5 to 10 years from now. Hence, it's best if the Prime Minister of Jamaica borrow the funds from China now and start doing the things that he has already announced. Let's try and complete all the infrastructures that the government has already announced in the next 3 to 5 years, while the government is planning the other set of infrastructures. The government may need to stipulate that Czech brings more equipment into the country, that they will be able to work in all 14 parishes simultaneously. The government of Jamaica need to start working and fulfilling their recent promises of tackling all 20,000 roads in Jamaica and improve them. However, in my opinion, 1 or 2 more international airports are equally, or some could say, should take the priority over the roads. This is because it is the airports, along with the increase in tourism numbers, that is going to pay for all the new infrastructures in Jamaica. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe and leave your comments below. God bless you and God bless Jamaica. Until the next video, peace.